Hey everyone, so this will be a short video on how to use watercolor. So let's get started on that. I have my watercolor paper, which is a little pad. Of course, I'm just doing this for testing, and I have bigger sheets available. So this is just Master's Touch watercolor pad. This is a very small pad. This is the size of my hand here, and this is just for tests here. So let's get started on just doing a sketch. So we are going to be doing a little drawing with some, and we're obviously going to color in water paper. So let's just get started. So I'm going to, usually I would tear this paper out, but because I don't want to make the paper all wrinkly later on, I think I'll just, you know what? I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to tear this paper out, this page out. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to tear this. Hope it doesn't tear the whole sketchbook out. And this is the paper. So as you can see, it looks kind of gritty, but that's just because of the texture and what's needed to make sure that the water absorbs into the paper. And that's why it's called watercolor paper. Now this watercolor paper is quite expensive. An alternative would be the mixed media paper that I think I have. I'm gonna have to go check real quick. So I actually don't have it with me right now, but we'll find it someday and probably do an example on it. But for now, we're going to be using watercolor paper. And the reason why I suggest this kind of watercolor paper is because it's a good quality, it has a good thickness. The mixed media can hold water, however, it doesn't hold water as well as watercolor paper does. So you might have to try and find some online that are probably cheaper brand, but Master's Touch is a pretty good brand. Canson's is pretty good. Canson, like C-A-N-S-O-N, is good as well. But just get some good watercolor paper and you'll be good if you want to do watercolor. Now this is just an option. If you ultimately want to stay with color pencils, that is also fine. I'm just putting this out as another option. Of course, if you have any other options, just make for watercolor paper. You just make sure it's not. What's it called? Just make sure it's not copy paper or sketchbook paper regular, because that doesn't really absorb very well. So the safest bet is to use a good watercolor paper. Anyways, let's just get started on doing a little sketch here. I'm gonna just keep drawing girls because I like them. So I'm going to draw very, very lightly when it comes to sketching on watercolor paper, because if you want to erase that, just make sure that it's not too dark, or else you would leave bad smudge marks. So I'm just going to be drawing a simple front-on head here. You know, you have your cranium, then you have, dropping it down. Just draw very, very lightly, so that you don't make, so it's just easier not to make mistakes using this. Then draw your cross line. Let's draw in the nose line, which will be a little bit above the center of the face. And let's draw a little mouth. Not too big, not too small. And then let's draw some eyes. Let's draw some, some nice sharp eyes here. Not too sharp, but kind of sharp enough that it's energetic. So kind of a boxier looking eye. So kind of picture this as a little bit of a hexagon, and then just kind of fill it all in. So I'm not going to fill in the eyes at this point, just because I would fill those in using a dark liner. So eyelids close to the eyes, and then the eyebrows will be above here. Hopefully you guys can see this. Sometimes the zoom makes the focus a little bit not as good. So if I need to darken areas, I will make sure to darken so you guys can see it. Here we have the eyes. And then here we have the bottom of the eyes. And for the hair, let's give her some short hair. How about that? Or actually, let's give her some... Let's give her some kind of messy long hair. How about that? So let's give her some bangs. Make sure to keep grouping them. Keep remembering how to group your bangs here. Maybe I'll give her some dark colored hair this time. So I'm grouping them by bangs, and I'm grouping them by side bangs. So sides that kind of frame the face will also have a little bit of a section. Keep your lines controlled as always. Let's draw some extra frays along the sides. Let's give her some braids around the sides of her face. Kind of looks like Alice from Pandora Hearts. Oh well. So far this is what it looks like. It kind of looks like Venti from Genshin Impact as well. Oh well. Not every character is original. Let's give her a nice neck, slender neck. And let's give her some nice hair. Of course, draw whatever you want. You can do whatever kind of character that you want. Guy, girl, short hair, long hair, purple hair, whatever. So far so good. And also be careful when you erase too much and redraw, because when you erase, this is what I noticed for myself, is that the lines will start getting a lot more darker and less and more difficult to pretty much erase out later. So try not to erase too much in the drawing process, but if you end up doing that, then that's okay. So here's a little sweater. I actually want to erase the braids here because I already did braids on another one, and I don't want this looking too much like another character from another show. So I'm going to make this more just more normal, I should say. Let's give her some other strands though, like maybe a strand that kind of replaces it. And why not give her some little dog ears or something, or cat ears. Let's just make a simple kind. I believe dog ears kind of have a more oval look. So I think I'll just stick with this for now. Let's add some stripes. This is more like a little cardigan sweater. Alright, so that'll be pretty much it for the sketch, and I will be lining this in the next video. I'll see you guys there. Bye-bye.